Good afternoon and welcome to Portal TV. I'm your host Tim O'Connor and this is SyTech episode number 44. Buried hundreds of miles beneath our feet in the United States, there's a massive reservoir of water that's as much as 3 times the amount on the surface, including all of the world's oceans today. The scientific study was released last Friday, conducted by researchers from Northwestern University and the University of New Mexico, and published in the journal Science. The discovery could help explain where our oceans came from and why life is able to exist on Earth. Many of you may be aware, as I myself am, about the cometary impact theory of how water came to our planet. But this new study was news even to me. The cometary theory has been the prevalent theory for years on how much of the water has appeared on Earth. While in no way discounting the comet theory, this new study certainly changes the viewpoint on how a world's oceans and other water bodies may form. Finally, we may be seeing evidence for a whole Earth water cycle, which may help explain the vast amount of liquid water on the surface of our habitable planet. Steve Jacobson, a Northwestern University geologist and co-author of the study, told phys.org. Scientists have been looking for this missing deep water for decades. The water is believed to exist in what scientists call a transition zone in Earth's mantle rock, about 250 to 410 miles below the surface. There, the water exists in a form that wouldn't be familiar to us. It's not liquid, frozen, or vapor, but rather is trapped in the molecular structure of mantle rock by tremendous pressure and temperatures above 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Jacobson and Brant Schmant, a seismologist from the University of New Mexico, made their discovery by using about 2,000 seismometers to measure the seismic waves generated by hundreds of earthquakes. As these earthquake waves move through the planet below the surface, they can be detected at the surface. They make the Earth ring like a bell for days afterwards, Jacobson said. By measuring how quickly the waves move through rock at different depths, the researchers figured out what kinds of rock were there, noting that rock with water trapped inside forced the waves to slow down. The work builds on a related discovery reported in March, in which scientists found a water-saturated piece of the mineral ringwoodite, the only sample ever found on Earth, that had been coughed up by a volcano in Brazil from some 400 miles below the surface. Geological processes on the Earth's surface, such as earthquakes or erupting volcanoes, are an expression of what is going on inside the Earth out of our sight, Jacobson told phys.org, adding that the mineral is like a sponge soaking up water. There's something very special about the crystal structure of ringwoodite that allows it to attract hydrogen and trap water. This mineral can contain a lot of water under conditions of the deep mantle. Jacobson simulated the effects of water on rock at these depths by growing ringwoodite in the laboratory, where he subjected it to the same pressures and temperatures thought to exist at mantle rock depths to see whether and how it absorbed water. If the scientists are right, and the water bound up in the mantle rock is part of a cycle driven by plate tectonics between the surface and interior reservoirs, that means that the water in the transition zone would be equal nearly 3 times as much as what's in all the oceans of the world. In addition, without it, the planet would never have been hospitable enough for life to appear. If it wasn't there, it would be on the surface of the Earth, and mountaintops would be the only land poking out, Jacobson said. I have to laugh good-naturedly at some of our scientists because extravagant statements like the above about life not being able to form on Earth because of too much or too little water is just rhetoric. Our knowledge of life in this universe is confined only to the top 12 miles of our planet, which is the deepest we have ever physically dug. Any deeper in the alloys for our best drill bits begin to melt. Also, the deepest part of the ocean is called the Challenger Deep, and is located beneath the western Pacific Ocean in the southern end of the Mariana Trench, which runs several hundred kilometers southwest of the U.S. territorial island of Guam. It is an average of 36,200 feet deep, or just 6.85 miles. Our knowledge is of just the surface of one planet in a galaxy filled with hundreds of millions of stars and a universe filled with hundreds of millions of galaxies. That makes for a pretty small sample set for statements like that. Life will always find a way. In movie news today, 22 Jump Street is still ranked #1 in the nation with a revealed budget of $50 million. It's done $44 million domestically, $20 million foreign, for a grand total of $98 million. It has an 8.1 IMDb rating with over 16,000 votes. How to Train Your Dragon 2 in its first week also has a budget of $145 million. Has done $65 million domestically and $36 million foreign. It's a bit of a disappointment at the box office so far. I hope it really picks up. Its worldwide total so far is $102 million. It has a high rating of 8.7 at Internet Movie Database out of a total of 14,000 votes. Maleficent, in its third week, $180 million budget, $171 million domestic, $273 foreign for a total of $443 million. It's one of the top 3 movies of the year. However, for money making, it only has a 7.5 rating at IMDb out of about 50,000 votes. Edge of Tomorrow in its second week, $178 million budget, $62 million domestic, $181 million foreign, $243 million worldwide. Has a high IMDb rating of 8.2 out of almost 60,000 votes. The Fault in Our Stars, also in its second week, with only a $12 million budget, has done $87 million domestically, $42 million foreign, for a total of $130 million overall. It's got an 8.5 rating, which is very high, out of 22,000 votes. X-Men Days of Future Past, another one of the top movies of the year in its fourth week. $200 million budget, $210 million domestic, $461 million internationally for a total of $641 million overall. It has a high IMDb rating of 8.5 out of 152,000 votes. Godzilla still stomping around in its fifth week. $160 million budget, $193 million domestic, $258 million foreign, $441 million worldwide. Not a very high IMDb rating, but I know everyone that I've seen who's gone to see it has enjoyed it, including myself. Has a 7.2 rating out of 116,000 votes. A Million Ways to Die in the West, in its third week, with the $40 million budget, has done domestically 39, foreign is 27 million, 65 million worldwide, has a very low 6.3 rating at IMDb out of less than 20,000 votes. So I'm not sure how well it's doing overall, but it doesn't look like it's doing too hot. So I guess one of our biggest money makers is The Fault in Our Stars and also 22 Jump Street. They've made a lot of money so far, and that makes the movie houses very happy. As of today, 2 brand new movies are coming out, Jersey Boys and Think Like a Man 2. That's T-O-O, not T-W-O. Both movies have high expectations. We'll see what happens in the near future. But next week comes out Transformers Age of Extinction. This one should be a fairly serious version of Transformers, starring Mark Wall, and it's going to be released in 4,000 theaters nationwide. I'll be looking for that one. That's all I have for movie news today. Now for gaming. Too much fun.